Great Scott, Marty. Yeah, I cannot believe what I'm about to show you exists in 2022. Why does it exist? Why is it a thing in the 21st century? Sure, it's a very popular franchise. In fact, it's one of my favourite franchises, and the first movie is one of my favourite movies of all time. Seen here on Blu-ray. I love this cover. I look forward to watching through all of these again sometime. But why is there a Back to the Future serial? There are many reasons. In this day and age, the brand is very powerful. That brand recollection means that people are very loyal, and the fact that my wife picked this up in B&M because she knew I was such a big fan of Back to the Future just shows you how powerful that brand recognition still is after many decades. Now, I don't think that this is actually Doc Brown and Marty McFly. I don't think so. We've got the DeLorean on here. This looks like these are multi-grain chocolate balls. Now, this is part of a series. I think there's a couple of these floating around B&M. There's this one and Jaws, which are both Universal properties. I think the Jaws one is like little sharks, like multigrain sharks. I haven't seen it, but that's what it looks like from the picture. What have chocolate balls got to do with Back to the Future? We could have seen like a flux capacitor or something else, like mini DeLoreans maybe, or a lightning bolt because of the lightning from the save the clock tower, that stuff. We could have, it could have been mini clock towers, it could have been anything. But no, we've gone with chocolate balls. As we look on the other side, there is evidence to say this is not in reference to the first film, but all three, because we've got the three dates on here. November 5th, 1955, that's the first movie. October 21st, 2015, the second, and then January 1st, 1885, the third movie. If you've seen all three of those films, how do you stand on them? What order do you like them? For me, it's always going to be that first movie at the top. Every beat is supposed to be there. Everything is perfect in every way. It's just got an amazing structure, great performances, okay visual effects for the time, and it's very rewatchable. The second one is mildly confusing at times, plays a lot, very, as Doctor Who fans would say, timey-wimey in nature. But in looking to the future, 30 years, they did make a lot of predictions that ended up coming true. But yeah, that second movie was the perfect follow-up. We got a few throwbacks, we got some new issues put into place, and while Biff was sort of a thug and a little bit old-fashioned in his ways, let's say, and is put in his place in that first movie, in the second movie he is a proper full-on villain. The third movie is, in the context of the series, it's a good entry. In the context of it's a movie, it's perhaps not the best, with the highlight being the cameo appearance of ZZ Top. But I digress. So let's take a look at them. Pour these out. How many do I want? These do look very chocolatey. It's been a while since I had anything like this. They sort of remind me of, do you remember, what were they called? Golden Nuggets, that type of thing. And there was another one. And in America, they had the Flintstone cereal, which I believe was Boulders. We might have had it here in the UK for a time. So those who watch my videos regularly will know that I use oat milk. Most of the time, it doesn't make too much difference to the taste. Let's pour this on. So this is what they look like close up with milk on them. Nice and shiny. Those are really chocolatey. Reminds me of Cocoa Pops. In some ways it tastes like childhood because you've got that chocolatiness in there, but then you bite into it and they're crunchy. And I know some people prefer it when the milk soaks it up to the point where it's like squidgy and it just disintegrates, and on some days I like that approach to it, but you cannot beat a good crunch, because if you're having this for breakfast, then it's a good wake-up call, isn't it? I'm still having a little bit of trouble deciphering why they would do something like this and why these are chocolate balls. What has this got to do with the franchise? I guess in some ways they might be trying to encourage people back to the Universal theme park. I've never been to the theme park, but I assume there's some kind of Back to the Future ride. Obviously at the moment there is the streaming wars going on. Universal are owned by a company called Comcast, who own Sky, and they've just launched a very small version of Peacock in this country. They may be trying to compete with people like Disney, who've also released streaming services, who have really strong brand recognition, trying to sow the seed, as it were. But then maybe I'm looking at this a little bit too deeply. It may be just, it's a recognisable brand, it's an iconic film, let's celebrate it with some balls. Now I'm a little bit confused as to what ratings I'm using, because I do these so far in advance I can't remember any of the innovations that I've done. That's probably not very good for a video creator, but I think in this instance I'm going to give it 7 out of 10. Maybe 8. No, 8 out of 10. Simply because I love this franchise, I love this movie, and for those who didn't grow up in the 1980s when this movie was big, and I believe there was a serial around for a time, we get to have a Back to the Future serial that won't make you ill through age, which is amazing. And I know there are collectors out there who have been collecting these boxes and stuff because they're part of the merchandise to do with that franchise. There are so many quotes from that franchise, aren't there? I like it. I like that scene where Marty's talking to his father in 1955, and he says, "Oh, Dad, Daddy-o." I like that. That's Michael J. Fox is so good in that. There's also that line that I was misquoting for years because I saw the TV edit. When this baby hits 88 miles an hour, you're going to see some serious... Now, that's not me bleeping. The version I saw said, see some serious stuff. And I didn't think anything of it. I just thought, okay, some serious stuff. And then when I saw it in the cinema on the 25th anniversary, which was amazing to see the first movie on the big screen, and outside they had a DeLorean which I got to sit in, which again was amazing. I love that movie. When I heard it was, when this baby hits 88 miles an hour, you're going to see some serious SH1T. There were loads of moments like that where I'd seen the edited version, because you know what it was like, right? You'd tape a movie off the TV, you'd watch it loads of times. I think I owned it on DVD, but the DVD was broken it didn't function. There was a fault with it, and in those days it wasn't so easy to send it back. So I didn't see all these extra scenes and stuff for years. Until, as I say, seeing it in the cinema, and it's like, wow, there's an extra 10 seconds on the end of that scene. Really interesting. You build a time machine out of a DeLorean? I'm sorry, that was a little bit Frank Nelson, wasn't it? So tell me, have you tried these before? Let me know in the comments below. And as a secondary question in this video, what is your favourite quote from the Back to the Future franchise? Let me know, and I'll see you again for another taste test.